At ringside in Irvine tonight, Gary Jacobs and Jim Neely.
Seconds out, ready for it.
It's hard to believe that the little man in blue, the defending WBO light flyweight champion of the world, Paul Weir, has only had 9 professional contests. This is 10th, and the last 5, this one included, have all been for world titles. He won the world WBO strawweight title. He gave that up, and he's now the holder of the WBO light flyweight title, the first Scot to hold 2 world titles. His opponent from the Philippines, well, a name not unknown to boxing in Scotland, Renato Rick Magramo. His father was Rick Magramo, and he was here almost 32 years ago, losing out in a non-title fight to another great little Scot, Walter McGowan. So Magramo comes here hoping to do one better than Daddy did almost 32 years ago. Paul Weir very determined to hold on to this title. There's 12 3-minute rounds. The referee from Puerto Rico, 2 judges from the Dominican Republic, and a female judge from New Jersey, Eva Shane, from the United States of America. There's a match made at 7 stone 10, and both of them exactly on that particular limit. So 12 rounds of boxing here in the Magnum Centre in Irvine, Paul Weir's hometown. The title contest sponsored by the Daily Mirror. And already Paul Weir getting across with a couple of good right hands in the opening round. Renato Rick Magramo was some 33 years old now. Midway through the first round. And first thoughts at this stage from a man who we hope will bring a world title back to Scotland at the welterweight division, Gary Jacobs.
Yeah, a good opening round from Paul Weir, standing his ground very strongly, going forward and landing some good solid right hands. Good opening round for him.
Magramo, the reigning champion of the Philippines, and he's had most of his contests in his home country. Anytime he's ventured outside, he's lost, and it's been all to pretty useful Thai opposition. He's been stopped no fewer than 4 times in 6 of his 12 professional defeats. We're holding on. It's good refereeing, not a word spoken, just a little command. This Weir's first defence of the light flyweight title. He won in November of last year. A unanimous points decision over South Africa's Paul Olden, having failed to win the light flyweight title some 10 months earlier. We're expected to wear his man down with body shots. A little bit of bruising underneath the left eye of Paul Weir already. He's had a lot of pretty tough sparring against Mickey Cantwell, and that seems to have paid off. And a good finish to that round by Paul Weir, who goes back to his corner. So there's Paul Weir, now 27 years old. 9 contests, 8 wins, 1 defeat. He's won 3 of them inside the distance. And he's the defending WBO light flyweight champion of the world. As the challenger, this is his 44th professional contest. He's won 28 of the 43 so far, lost 12 and drawn 3. He's had 8 wins inside the distance, and at 33 years old, well, this is perhaps his first, and who knows, perhaps his last chance to win a world title. And there's Eva Shane from New Jersey, one of 3 judges.
Seconds out. Round 2.
A lot of people have been mildly critical about the validity of the WBO, but even though he's only 7 stones and 10 pounds, I wouldn't say that to Paul Weir. One very determined little Scotsman. As a sight set perhaps on higher things, the WBC and IBF titles held by the formidable Humberto Gonzalez of Mexico. Hyung Choi from Korea holds the WBA version. And Paul Weir in overall world terms maybe a little bit away from them, but certainly not in terms of confidence. Lovely left hand from Paul Weir. Unleashed that, and for a second, Magramo seemed to wobble, but he's come back. Magramo, interestingly, has the legend Lynn tattooed on his chest. One wonders where that came from. But that's just the sort of crisp punching that Paul Weir will want to repeat.
Yeah, that's some good fun. A good left hook he threw, landed clean on the chin, rocked Magramo a wee bit, but he stood his ground and came back a wee bit. It's been a hectic opening round. Both boys throwing plenty of leather, and it's been set at a very good pace.
Magramo going to the body rather leisurely and then whipping over a swift right hand to the side of Weir's head. Coming up to the midway point in the second round. Good defense by Weir, and he's very conscious of, having watched the tape of Magramo's last defense of his Filipino title, that he certainly can come through with decent shots, although he did win that on points.
Weir's guard's always going to be up anyway. He's always subject to cut, so his defence has got better since when he first challenged for this title. When he got beat on points, he was badly cutting it.
Magramo began boxing some 13 years ago, had a couple of fights early in 1982, and then did nothing for 3 years. But he's a very seasoned campaigner. He's had more than 4 times the number of contests that Paul Weir has had. In fact, almost 5 times the number, coming up to this fight here in the Magnum Centre in Irvine.
Yeah, I think he's actually had more losses than Weir's had fights.
Right indeed from Gary Jacobs. 12 losses, and Weir's only had 9 professional fights. This is 10. Half a minute to go. Weir perhaps trying to come inside too much and shortening the punches that little bit. Very conscious that he's been slightly outreached by a man who's exactly the same size, 5'3", and weighs exactly 7 stone and 10 pounds. That's the light flyweight limit. Weir formerly the 7 stone 7 champion. That left hand, that little left hook of Weir getting through again, and he's moving well.
Yeah, good second round for Paul Weir. Very good. He's got his defence, he's got his guard held high. Magramo, a lot of it landing on, a lot of slaps and a lot of landing on the gloves and the elbows.
Magramo in the corner. Father hasn't come with him. Man who lost to Walter McGarn almost 32 years ago. His trainer in the corner there too, and they've got a very useful cutsman there or thereabouts, Paddy Byrne. Magramo coming forward, and look at Weir just slipping those punches, though glancing away, and that was a sweet left hook, and that really did hurt the man from the Philippines. Paul Weir, a little bit of calisthenics comes out of his corner, having had a very good opening 3 or 4 rounds, and conceded some ground in the 5th round to the man in red from the Philippines, Renato Rick Magramo, now 33 years old. This is his 44th professional contest. He's won 28 and lost 12, drawn 3. So he really is much more experienced than the reigning WBO World Light Flyweight champion, Paul Weir. And he's making Weir work hard. The body shot with the open part of the glove won't bother Weir, who's in very good condition. Magramo finding quite a few different angles, and it's troubling Weir, who hasn't really for the last couple of rounds been able to settle into his normal rhythm.
Yeah, Weir normally likes to start forcing and dictating the pace. He hasn't pushed Magramo back once. Magramo's winging these, they're winging in from all angles. They're coming in to the body, to the head, and Weir's not really sort of coming back with anything of his own. He has to start throwing punches back of his own and stop showing this guy some respect.
Paul Weir came into the ring with 2 belts. The WBO strawweight belt, that's for 7 stone 7s. Although he vacated that, nobody has won it, so it's still his property. And he still has the WBO light flyweight title belt, of which he's quite rightly proud. Better work by Weir. That's the Paul Weir we know. Packed house here in the Irvine Magnum Centre for this World Championship contest, sponsored by the Daily Mirror. There's still that swelling underneath the left eye. He has covered acres and acres of canvas, Weir, and that's what he's best at. Head to body and head again. Best round so far by Paul Weir.
Yeah, that's the Paul Weir of normal. Moving about, throwing punches, standing his ground, in and out. He needs to have a wee bit more of that.
Seemed to take a little breather in the last round and may have conceded it to Rick Magramo, but he's back on course again. And at 33, Magramo may find 12 rounds a bit of a handful. Fernandez breaks them up. We must be wary of that swinging left hand because he's got caught with it a couple of times. And again. Magramo's still there, but he's starting to look a little bit tired. And Weir keeping himself out of trouble at the end of that round and going back to his corner, and his best round, I would think, in this contest so far. As Magramo, the reigning light flyweight champion of the Philippines. He won the title last November and defended it in January with a points win. That's the last contest in which he was involved.
I think that's about the both time.
There's Billy Hardy, the reigning Commonwealth featherweight champion, having moved up following a distinguished career at bantamweight. Beside him, Paddy Byrne, who's been around a few boxing rings in his time. 7 rounds gone. 5 to go. This is the start of the 8th round. And Paul Weir already in reverse gear, hoping to get in and out as he has done for most of the opening 7 rounds against a difficult and certainly very fit-looking challenger from the Philippines, Rick Magramo. He was only a tiny baby when his father, also called Rick, came here and lost at the Paisley Ice Rink to Walter McGowan. And the man who's promoting this contest, Tommy Gilmore Jr., was a little boy himself and actually carried the ring boards round with his first pair of long trousers. So a little bit of history for you there. Tommy Gilmore, I'm not sure we want to be reminded of that, but it was a great occasion for him, his first big fight. And he's taken over from father and has promoted so many big fights here in Scotland. We're getting caught with the left by Magramo, who's been very busy indeed. And 33 he may be, but good condition he certainly has shown tonight.
Yeah, all these wee men seem to fight like that. They're all like pocket dynamos. It's non-stop. It's like somebody's wound them up.
We're still looking calm and unruffled. Magramo blowing a little bit. We're very occasionally walking into a left hand from Rick Magramo. He has to keep that right hand of his well up. That's a good shot by Weir, that little jabbing, stabbing right.
Yeah, it looks like the fight has actually set a pattern. Weir's now going to win this fight on the back foot. If he is going to win it, he has to keep in and out, making a miss and setting himself with that right hand. He's been landing some good right hands.
That's another one. Weir can afford to hold his hands a little bit on the low side because he's keeping well out of the reach of Rick Magramo. They're not really landing those little short left jabs from Weir, but they're pushing the man backward. A few seconds to go to the end of the 8th round, 2/3 the way through the scheduled 12-rounder for the WBO Light Flyweight Championship of the World. And if Paul Weir can just keep this rhythm going, he'll retain his title, I'm quite sure.
That's quite a confident prediction. These guys, I think these fights are very hard to score. Although there's a lot of punches being thrown, there's a lot of good defensive work, there's a lot of good offensive and defensive work. Both boys, and I find them very difficult to score. A lot of these rounds could be even.
Well, 3 judges deciding. Paul Weir, the defending light flyweight champion of the world, comes off his stool the quicker. Again, some grease smeared above his left eyebrow, but that's really more precautionary than anything else. He's come through nicely. The swelling underneath his left eye was there right from the first round. And apart from a couple of little shots from the left hand, Renato Rick Magramo hasn't really got through to the defending champion, Paul Weir. We're looking perhaps for a big money fight with Humberto Gonzalez or Hyung Choi from Korea, but there's quite a few very decent Mexicans and Puerto Ricans in this light flyweight division. And the lower divisions have not really been the preserve of people from the Northern Hemisphere, or certainly from Europe at any rate.
Yeah, I think everyone at this weight, I don't think there is a bad fight at this weight. It's always going to be a tough fight for whoever Paul's going to be fighting.
This has been a hard fight for him. Magramo, although at 33 years old, may just be on the wane. It is a world title fight. He's come here to Weir's backyard in Irvine and has nothing whatsoever to lose.
No, he's been going forward. These winging punches, he's been landing a couple. He's been missing with a lot, he's been landing. Weir's still on the back foot, trying to win the fight on the back foot with his better defence and better boxing skills.
Midway through the round. Magramo now, it seems, getting a little bit wiser to the accurate jabbing of Weir, and as I speak, he lets himself get caught. A rare right hand thrown by Paul Weir, the defending champion. Slight smile from Magramo as he gets caught again and again. Magramo hasn't really been able to land a shot in this entire round, and we've some 30 seconds just remaining.
Yeah, we've just been staying out of distance, so Magramo can't land anything. Even with the winging punches are falling short at the moment.
Another clever, competent round by Paul Weir. And after this, 2 more rounds to go. And unless Weir really allows himself to slip, he's got this title retained.
That's a confident prediction.
Magramo goes back to his corner and looks tired. But then after 4 or 5 rounds he looked tired. He certainly hasn't worsened at all his condition. Last November, Paul Weir in blue was a convincing winner against the South African Paul Olden to lift this WBO light flyweight title fight. He's had a harder man, a harder opponent in Renato Rick Magramo, the 33-year-old from the Philippines, the reigning Philippine champion. And although I have Weir ahead, it'll be very interesting to see, because most of the rounds were very, very close indeed. And if you were doing it on the old amateur scoring, there might have been just a shot or 2 between them, Gary Jacobs.
Yeah, it's a very, very tough fight. It might come down to the last round. Whoever has the best last round might win this fight. The fight's been very close. Weir's been good in the back foot. Magramo's been going forward, scoring going forward. Weir's been scoring on the defence. It's just down to see how the judges see it.
Well, Weir doesn't certainly want to get himself caught. He doesn't want to get careless. He doesn't want to get involved in any macho toe-to-toe stuff, with his world title very much on the line. But I do feel that Weir has won this by 2 to 3 rounds. 3 judges, remember, from the Dominican Republic, Juan Baez and Teofilio Regis, and the female judge from New Jersey in the United States, Ava Shane. Referee does not score in this. We haven't had a knockdown or anything really resembling a knockdown, but it's been a very, very interesting contest all the way through. Nice chopping right hand from Paul Weir. And he's decided that he can afford to maybe stand close to this man and trade with him if he wishes. 2 Weir has to be careful. He dropped his right hand there and almost got tagged with a left.
It's been a very, very eachy-peachy fight. It's just Weir, every time Weir tags Magramo, Magramo's coming back with something else. Whether it's landing or not, whether the judges are seeing it as scoring, I think a lot of them have been landing on the elbows and it's been the palm part of the glove, so they're not really scoring punches, but he's been throwing a lot of leather.
Pretty fair assessment there from Gary Jacobs. We're looking very confident. Magramo breathing heavily now, throwing out punches more in desperation than in anything else. Oh, great stuff from Weir right at the end. That little flurry may just swing the round in his favour. And if the contest wasn't his before, well, it is now. But I really do believe that Paul Weir has won this by 3, perhaps 4 rounds.
Still a very confident prediction.
Referee has had very little to do indeed, apart from deductive point from Magramo in the 9th. Good finish by the man from the Philippines, and they shake hands. Two great little warriors. What a terrific contest they put up. Paul Weir won the title last November, and has he retained it here tonight in the very same ring? The corners certainly think he has done. Benny King and George Borden come over, and as ever, Donkey Jowett, one of the best cutsmen in the business, in the corner. I think he's going to confidently predict that Paul Weir has kept the title, but it's down to the 3 judges.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, your judges have scored the contest. Eva Shane from New Jersey, United States of America, a unanimous decision, 118-109. Juan Baez from the Dominican Republic, 118-112. And Tefilio Regos from the Dominican Republic, 116-112. The winner of this Daily Mirror sponsored championship contest, still the WBO Light Flyweight Champion of the World, Paul Weir!
Well, some interesting judging there. One judge gave it to Paul Weir by no fewer than 9 rounds, one by 6 and one by 4. I think the latter two perhaps were closer to what I had it, but whatever happens, the outcome is exactly the same. Paul Weir has retained his WBO light flyweight title, a unanimous decision. All 3 judges going for the little man here from Irvine in Scotland, and Paul Weir, unbelievably, 10 contests, this is 5th at world title level, and he's still the light flyweight champion of the world.
Paul Weir keeps his title tonight. The belt's bigger than he is. Well, now